Welcome back, everybody. This week I am Noel Stolen.
Oh shoot! This week I'm Lloyd. Yeah.
And
This
Joe's
week
back.
on Hi, this week I'm Klein.
Ooh.
Klein. Wait, I should know his name. Oh well. Wait, no, I do know.
Klein
Whatever.
Moretti.
Anyways, welcome back to Anime Savants, everyone. Joe's back.
Yo.
Don't know why you're back, Mr. 100K plus YouTuber.
I like
All
talking to you
out of
guys.
control.
That's pretty simple.
The
That's
book
all it
schedule.
that's all it all boils down to.
We thought he was too booked and busy. He was like, "Yeah, hell no, I'll come talk." So Joe's back, and let's just do the drama.
You want
Let's
to jump into the drama thing
Let's
now?
just do the drama because I really want to know now.
Okay.
So,
All right. So
what
this is
is
what
the
it all breaks down to.
anime drama?
All right. So this is the one big drama that has started in this season. It is essentially Lord of the Mysteries is too confusing for reactions. Okay. That is what it boils down to. All right. I could pull up all the tweets. There's so many tweets. Essentially, there are a few key players in the drama.
Okay.
It seems the big players in the drama are the biggest channels within the anime reaction space. Your boy Roshi
Oh,
and
oh,
Nicholas Light TV.
I have no
And
idea
essentially,
who that is, but
people are mad at the two of them because they don't feel like those two are paying attention enough to the show. If you want a really good breakdown on this,
okay.
you could check out Kaka TV's video just talking about the whole drama. He did a really good breakdown on it all, and then I reacted to it. His video was like 40 minutes long or something, and then my recording was 2 hours long.
Wow.
Of course, because you have to pause and react.
Yeah. And essentially what the whole thing boils down to is your boy Roshi is like, I don't think that I should have to react to I shouldn't have to get additional content in order to understand a show. That's essentially what his first tweet is. He's not specifically saying Lord of the Mysteries. He is he's in general saying, if I have to basically, no, it's not if I have to. It's just like, I should not have to consume some additional thing, chibi content, whatever, or like watch analysis breakdown videos in order to understand a show, which in itself, yeah, that's totally valid. You shouldn't have to. That seems pretty stupid. You should be able to understand a show just from the show itself. But because it's like a subtweet of the show, everyone like noticed, oh, well, that's about Lord of the Mysteries. Because I mean, I haven't seen their reactions, but they're saying that like your boy Roshi did not, I guess the whole couch did not understand the series as it was going, the episodes that they watched. I think since they've dropped it, which is, in my opinion, like the best move to make, because the show does have a few issues. One being it is like really fast paced. And what I've been saying the whole time is it is extremely unique, at least what I've seen. The world and the power system are extremely unique. It's not like you can walk into this with the previous knowledge of isekai, like, oh yeah, so it's fire magic, water magic, wind magic, earth magic. And then like, oh, not just a fireball, it's inferno, volcanic eruption, some like whatever variant of basic fire magic. No, in this, it's a whole different power system with the 22 pathways and then sequences for each, and everything has its own powers. And then there are organizations that monopolize pathways. So you're going to find that you'll only see somebody with those specific powers in that pathway within a certain organization. You're not going to find them somewhere else because that organization's monopolized it. The powers, I will admit, are a little more confusing, though I do believe that they kind of coincide with like the name of the potion, so you can kind of get like more or less an idea of what they can do based on that. But like, because it is a very unique world, it takes an additional like second or two to like stop, take a look at what's going on, and like pausing. And essentially, after being, I guess, more or less called out on like finding Lord of the Mysteries confusing. Then your boy Roshi's like, listen, I shouldn't have to pause the show in order to understand the show. I've been watching all these other shows and I don't have to do that. So why do I have to do it with this one? And he's going back and forth with Light Novel Historian. So I don't know if you guys know who Light
Mm,
Novel Historian is, but
I'm like loosely familiar. Yeah.
Light Novel Historian is like more or less the YouTuber guy for Lord of the Mysteries. He does a lot of
oh,
shorts talking about like
okay.
light novels specifically and a lot about Lord of the Mysteries. And so he's going back and forth with your boy Roshi, and then I kind of lost track of Nicholas Light in the whole thing, but Nicholas Light was basically saying how like Lord of the Mystery fans are the worst fans, which I think he's being hyperbolic on
I,
purpose in
Oh,
order to rage bait.
I
brother.
don't know about
Yeah, that's a
that.
rage
No, no,
bait.
no.
Yeah, I literally was
Yeah.
gonna be like, yo, he's reining them in.
I don't know why everybody would take. I don't know why anyone would take that seriously. He's literally like, there's no way you can hear somebody say that and then not think they're being hyperbolic, not think that
Right.
they're just over the top about this
Yeah.
thing, specifically to rile them up even further. It's just if you got like fooled by this, you're the fool. We should praise you. Like, what are you doing? How could you fall for this?
So
Um, and then uh basically here's the additional thing which is really really funny, and I've been milking it a little bit. So in this exchange between Light Novel Historian and your boy Roshi, eventually somebody on the Lord of the Mysteries subreddit makes a Lord of the Mysteries reactor tier list.
oh shit.
And it's so funny. Anyways,
Oh,
there I don't know if it's been updated since the last episode, but since this is post episode 5, right? Um After episode 5, it comes out I'm an S tier, Lord of the Mysteries reactor, just to let you know. So you're kind of in the
hey,
presence of
look at you,
greatness. I don't know
Joe.
if you guys know that.
I didn't
Um
know.
Oh
but there are
Congrats.
my
3 people in S tier, and then
god.
there's people going back and forth. I find the whole thing hilarious. If I don't even care where they place me. You could place me S A B C D E F. I don't care where I am because it's
Oh man.
arbitrary. But if you put me in the S tier, I will put it in my bio. You know
Milk
what I
that
mean?
shit.
I
Milk that
will
shit.
constantly
Exactly.
say that I am an S tier Lord of the Mysteries reactor. I will do that because it's funny. It's
No
hilarious.
way.
It's essentially like the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, right? Like we don't actually give that any stake, right? We
Yeah.
we we all like check it out. We know about it, right? We know who
And
won.
argue
But
about
then
it
when
for
they're
a
like, "Oh
month.
yeah, when they say Solo Leveling won, we don't actually think Solo Leveling was the best anime of the year. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's so arbitrary. Anyways, that's what the whole thing is. It's just basically saying that there's too many reactors that are confused by the show. And then the big takeaway or the big take from a bunch of people is maybe you should pause more. Kakar goes in on like your boy Roshi and the big creators, which is crazy that he did, because
Ooh.
I think that the things that they said is kind of valid, but at the same time,
Okay,
like
so
it is something you have
so
to pause just because of how unique it is. And also just Chinese is a fucking is like and then like they said like a paragraph. Like they say
Yeah.
so much in like such a small amount of time, especially
yeah.
like beyond just the language, it feels like I don't know. Beyond just it being in Chinese, I feel like this is like maybe a thing within Chinese, within a lot of Donghua, because I see it with all Donghua,
Hmm.
where I think it's the pacing of the series. They also pace the dialogue faster.
Yeah.
So they don't really give time between things. And maybe it is just the language at the end of the day, but like I do find it difficult. And
I
again,
mean, we've
it's just
we've
such a
talked about
unique
this on the
show.
show that there's a mode of exposition that differs
Y-
from culture to culture, tradition to tradition. And I think that in the West, we're obviously very familiar with like the Western canon and how stories are generally told, stemming from Greek epic tragedy all the way through, the American canon of like books and movies, and then later on like television, and then that's been expanded to more Eastern traditions, particularly Japanese. But the interesting thing about like manhwa and and manga is that all of those have their own pacing, and I would call them like cultural models of storytelling, but they've all been influenced by Western models heavily. And in fact, a lot of the fans of this stuff have watched that influence kind of go back and forth in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Chinese media is something that is, in fact, very new to a lot of Western audiences, just period. Whether it's getting access to it at all or the exposure of things that feel like it's sort of a what's the word? It's like like simulacra where um you and I could be having a conversation, and I could say, hey, Jordan, who you in this hypothetical you've never met, Jordan's like an asshole. Like, and I can tell you all the horrible things that Jordan has done. Jordan's a terrible person. I hate him so much. I can tell you all these terrible things. In your mind, you created an image of who Jordan is, but I've only told you about what I think they have done.
Your
I have
perception.
not given you the keys to understand Jordan as a person. And it's not holistic in any way, and it's just one perspective. So when you walk around, you hold in your mind an image of who Jordan is. Now go tell someone else, I heard about this guy Jordan. He's a real asshole. And you're going to, again, relay these things to this other person. Now we're like several steps removed. And if that chain keeps going, if you ask the final person in the chain to try to like, or that person ran into Jordan in real life, the lining up the internal image and the real person, there's going to be almost nothing in common at all. And what we see in like media is that happens all the time where like an art form kind of gets transposed and communicated into another medium, but it's not, this was not taught by the masters, like the greatest mangaka and light novel writers of all time all went to Korea, and they all taught all the Koreans exactly how to duplicate. No, it was fans of one thing were watching in another place. Companies came along and said, we can make money, make something like that. And now we're at a game of telephone with this medium where now we're getting more Chinese material, and it's been influenced heavily by that culture, which we are not familiar with at all. And then, but because it looks like an anime and it has like a lot of the trappings of what we think an anime is, we want to address it like every other anime because it's just slotted into that category. But it's a simulacra of that, plus all of the interesting, I say weirdness, but I mean in a good way, but like weirdness of another foreign culture. And reactors trying to digest that in real time, I'm not surprised that it's exposed like a level of um international media literacy failure, right?
So
Like
I
I'm
had to
not
Google what
surprised.
simulacra was. I'm just saying.
What I'm seeing out this situation is just a failure to engagement farm.
I like
If
that.
you're looking at a show, I do this all the fucking time. If I'm watching a show, which I'm a very, 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 very small content creator, very small. But if I'm watching a show, and I don't understand something, I say, oh, I didn't really catch that, or I don't really get that, but I don't feel like rewinding. I'm just gonna keep it going. And then at the end of the reaction, I go, oh, hey, y'all, I kind of didn't understand this. I kind of did understand that. Hit me up in the comments. Can you break this down for me? What was that? Or like, can you like explain this? Please, no spoilers. And then your engagement goes up because everyone's like, oh shit, well, yeah, I know, like Roshi, like, oh, it's this, it's actually this, like, like that. I feel like it's kind of, well, to me, that seems like an easy, just like going. It was the same thing with like Mushoku Tensei, where there are so many subtle things that the light novel and the manga reader, like they know that shit inside and out. And there are certain things where it's kind of just like, I feel like that was important, but I don't remember. Or we're so deep in the damn series, they're like sliding shit in or like sliding characters in from season one and shit like that. I've completely forgotten about them, and I'm just like, is that who is? I don't know who that is. I've completely forgotten. Boom, hit the comments. Oh, it's this person. It's that person. Remember they did this and da da da. Oh shit, you're right. Period. That's it.
Okay, I think that I don't want to exactly speak for your boy Roshi, but based on the tweets, I would assume that the opposing argument would be, um, well, why do I have to do that? Why do I
Yeah,
have
I
to
understand that.
find
Well,
out from the
also,
comments when it should just be so easily? And
well,
yeah, I
that's the
think
difference
that it
between
all
like
just
a big creator like that and
Yeah.
someone like me. He has
mm-mm.
so many fucking comments. He's gonna have to
Yeah, I just
filter, read, like
could
it's
never.
insane. And it's the same thing with you. Like you're not, you get to a certain level where you're not reading those fucking comments anymore. It's too much, and
Can't.
it's mixed in with like random haters and all this kind of shit like that, and bots and all
And
kinds of stuff. So
spoilers and everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
and spoilers. So yeah, I understand that aspect. I get it, but that is still a way to drive it
Yeah,
where
I
you can
think
be
that at
like,
the
I
end of
don't
the
really give
day,
a yeah.
it's just a different series from a lot of other ones, and it does take the additional effort. Um, if there are people out there that are watching the show without any light novel knowledge and they don't pause at all and they pick up on everything, kudos to you. You are a
Hmm.
superhuman. You are beyond me. You are more intelligent than me. I am nothing compared to you. You are the greatest human being in existence.
They
You deserve
levitate
to
over
be
all of the others.
uh
Their minds are so powerful.
yeah,
Well, I think a bigger problem
you're
with
beyond
this,
you're a mutant in a good way, like X-Men. Like you are evolved. You are more than I could ever hope to be. But I just don't think most people are like that. I think most people watch the show, they're like, damn, this is okay, so there's 22 pathways, 9 sequences, but then there's these sealed artifacts, and then there's organizations, and why does that organization have this power and that one's, and then what? Wait, there's a true creator, so is that the god? But they're
Yeah.
worshiping like a different god, and then
You know
these
what? You
four
know,
epochs of
I
different.
feel like
There's
I
so
feel
honestly,
much
like
that
shit.
makes the
the
show sound
problem
really fucking
is
interesting to me.
Same,
it's
but
like
it takes the extra little, you know.
yeah, I feel like the issue for a lot of things, and I feel this way not even about like necessarily this series, but like media literacy as a whole. There's like a weird thing that has been going on for as long as there's been like social media, especially like video platforms, where you get to kind of have parasocial access to creators on top of the content that they make, where like
Mm,
not to like go too deep, but like what's the point of React content? There is a point, right? There's a reason why it's popular. There's a reason why people do make it, but often it's not quite shared on the up and up. The reason why a lot of people like React content is twofold. The first is that you get to have like a parasocial experience with a person, you know, the big
Yes.
brother, you
Yeah.
know, the big sister, the friends, the group of friends that like you don't necessarily have yourself, but you can
mhm.
share through their, you know, mutual consumption of the same media that you're consuming. So like a big part of it is the personal. It's like I connect with this person, and so watching them have an emotional reaction, usually heightened in some way, so that it's a little bit surreal than what it would really would be if you were sitting down and actually just like watching it by yourself. That's enjoyable. But there's another side of it that's kind of like real time critique of the media thing that they're watching. So like it kind of requires that the person who's producing the content at least presents like they know and understand what is going on so that they can
Mhm.
clarify things or essentially like teach the audience a little bit about stuff they might have missed or aspects of the shows that they're consuming that like now they can appreciate a little bit more because you pointed out, oh, this is a good part and this is a good thing. That's kind of like the wrap up at the end of
Mm,
the episode even is teaching people. But that kind of relies on the creator to have access to interesting thoughts and ideas about something. And when you run into
Oh,
content that I don't even think like I like Lord of Mysteries. I don't think it's like the greatest and most like, you know, seminal piece of writing that's ever happened. So that there's like some super inherent value in knowing all the details about what's going on. But it is complicated. And because it's complicated, I have a feeling that a lot of the audience, when they're watching the reactors react to it, are kind of, you know, kind of like nudging them to like, give me more, help me understand just what the hell is going on. And because you have that pressure, if you're watching it and you don't know what the fuck is going on, because the way that they want to tell the story doesn't actually communicate a lot of the specific details, they kind of just state them. The characters in the
mhm.
series live in that world. So like in real life, you don't walk outside and go to the 7-Eleven and you the first person you bump into, you don't have like an expositional conversation explaining what a 7-Eleven is. A 7-Eleven is just part of your culture and society. So you see it, you look at you grab your Red Bull and your water bottle and your pack of gum, you put your credit card down, you buy and you walk out. There's no explanation of the underlying services that rendered themselves to get you this retail experience. And part of the benefit I think of well developed worlds is that if the characters in them feel like they're naturally moving and that there's a lot of complexity underneath the surface but it's not being stated, it does leave a lot of room for the person watching it to like come to their own conclusion about what they're doing. And maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, but that doesn't fit the React model at all. It's like the antithesis of what a reactor would do. That's for your video essayists and your long form creators to engage with. And so I see the disconnect. I see it. It makes total sense to me.
But the parasocial stuff is the unhealthy part about it when it comes to content creators, and especially with reactors and anyone that does all that kind of stuff with like other mediums. It's one thing if you're creating like, original content, you're vlogging, you're doing this shit, blah, blah, blah. But when you, let's say, toxic fandoms, My Hero Academia, like you enter that realm, you are at the behest of the parasocial relationship, not only with the fan and you yourself, the content creator. You're in literally like you're in the fucking sniper sight of them niggas and anything negative being said about My Hero at all, because they have attached their sense of self-worth to the success of that IP, to the popularity of that IP. And so that could also be a part of this too, where there are like fans of Lord of Mysteries who, they're like, oh, it's finally getting some shine, like we're finally here, like da 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 da. And now this has happened, and it's like, no, like you should support it. Like you're one of the biggest reactors that are on fucking YouTube. Like, don't do this to my show.
Yeah. I mean, that always happens. Every fandom, there are people that are definitely that do assign or attach their own self-worth to the series. Like that is a very accurate description of a lot of people within, even beyond anime, just fandoms in general.
Sports.
Yeah, all the time,
Yes.
just all over the place. It becomes their personality. It happens with politics. It happens with everything, everywhere. People will make that thing who they are. So when that thing is coming under attack, they're being attacked. It's like, all right, relax. That thing doesn't care about you. It probably doesn't know that you exist.
And sometimes it's not even an attack. It's a critique.
Yeah,
it's an
but
opinion.
A lot of people can't take a critique about their thing.
Well, they can't differentiate between any of it.
So I did
sure.
want to like go back to the statement that like the inciting incident was the claim that I shouldn't, as a consumer, need secondary material to understand something that is being presented to me, which I think, on its face, I could see a lot of, I could defend that, and I could see a lot of value in that perspective, especially when you're kind of like introducing something new to a broader audience. You kind of should take into account how you go about storytelling. But there's, the countervailing point, like in good faith, is like there's plenty of media that doesn't hold the hand of the consumer, deliberately or not, that no one has a problem with. I always think about, because we get this like every year on the anime side, there's a lot of stuff that gets produced that's like very specifically for like one audience. Like it could be Pretty Cure,
Standing
like
on a Million Lives.
It could be like a really, a big franchise. Like they produce some like, OVA or movie that's like it is literally only exists for that audience to get into, and so they don't bother with the preamble or explanations. They just kind of like throw a bunch of shit at you, and people who are in it get it, and people who are not in it are not. You weren't called to action, so it's none of your business. It may not work as a story for you, but it's going to work for all these other people, and you don't necessarily see that reaction when it's not a quote unquote serious piece of media. If it's something, fan servicey or something like, very niche and very targeted, like I again, I wasn't even familiar with like this controversy, but like I know I don't hear this stuff about that. I think the other side of it is that people are recognizing that Lord of Mysteries is a auteur effort, and it is interesting, and it does have a pretty active fan base, and they want to get in on it. They want to, access that. If you're a content creator, what the reason, you look at all. I mean, I don't do React stuff, but Jordan tells me all the time, and I look at sort of the world out there. Doing My Hero thing, it's primarily My Hero fans are going to be the ones who are most
Oh
active
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
consuming
yeah.
it. You do a Dragon Ball thing, it's Dragon Ball fans who will be the most active doing it. A lot of
Yeah,
content
with any of
creators
these
hook
things.
their entire platform to the success of maybe one or two franchises because they're grabbing a portion of those fans to come and
Mm.
sample what they're talking about their favorite thing. So if you're making content about Lord of Mysteries, even subconsciously you may not, or consciously you may not think about it, but subconsciously you're trying to tap into that bigger fan base. And Lord of Mysteries fans probably are not going to be, dress up darling fans. They're probably not going to be, Sakamoto Days people. They're Lord of Mysteries fans. That means they're here for whatever the cryptic bullshit that
Yeah,
series is doing, and also not explaining shit. And if
Yep.
you can't understand that that is what that product is delivering and work around that, I think you're not doing a very good job as a content creator. I think actually you're being kind of lazy. Not because the creators have to spoon feed it to you, but like you want access to that fandom and via that content, so you probably need to adjust what you're doing to accommodate that rather than expecting everything to be served to you in the way you want. Because I've tried to bring anime to people who don't watch anime, and they look at a lot of this stuff and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" Because they don't
yeah,
get the conventions at all. And I'm like, it would be really fucking stupid of me to turn around to those people like, well, listen, like, I don't know why you have all these preconceived. You should be have an open mind, and then turn and be like, well, but for this one, don't I need it spoon fed to me, or for this one, I need the creator to do this for me. Like, it doesn't add up.
yeah. Yeah, I
But I
think that
see the other side.
I think the argument you made is more or less, I think there may be less than more, but there are similarities to the argument that I think Kaka made. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you should take if you are a reactor and you realize, because he brings up the concept of a skill issue when it comes to watching the
Oh,
series, and
Interesting.
the skill
okay.
simply being pressing the pause button. Um,
So
uh,
I can
and
see
it's essentially what
Roshi.
he's saying, though. It's like the skill issue is just pause. If you know that you could comprehend the thing if you
If
do take the extra effort, but you're choosing not to, then that is your choice and you are doing the thing. So don't complain about it, is essentially what his argument was.
Hmm.
And my personal opinion on this is I'm not going to tell any reactors you have to react this way. If you don't understand the show and it's causing you not to enjoy it, drop the show, and then maybe down the road you could try it again later and you do enjoy it, especially with the dub coming out and stuff. Though I hear that with the dub, in case you guys do watch it, I hear that the intro is supposed to have a big spoiler, so don't watch the intro. You know
Oh, great.
there's 22 pathways and 9 sequences,
Right.
the path to divine. Skip that in the English version because apparently there's a big spoiler. But
oh,
everything else should be fine. Also, they translated Hermes into English as well, so there's no like ancient language. They're just speaking English throughout,
Got it.
which is also kind of annoying. But yeah, I think that um, the thing that I was saying is something I forgot. So, all right.
I have a question for both you and Jordan, and maybe because like again, you guys actually live in the content creation space, and I don't. So this is like be interesting to me. What's the most difficult piece of media that you've ever personally enjoyed to create content over? Whether it's React content or just literally anything, like something that you
Mm.
liked, but it was more of a challenge to like create something with it, or maybe do use your
or have
typical
it like
format.
do well on the channel, or
Dude,
like
just personally, like it was just difficult to make or think about or figure out how you were gonna make it work. You know, whatever that means. You interpret that how you want to. I'm just curious.
Or is it difficult to choose?
So it could be like, popularize it or something. I don't know. I don't know what
I would
metric you
guess
want
like
to use.
shorts.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like TikToks, like shorts, shit like that, which ironically those do fucking amazing for me. That's my highest performing platform.
But like
Um,
franchises, is there like a show came out and
oh
you're like, I want to do like React content to this, but like I tried it and something
yeah,
wasn't what
yeah. For me, it's shonen. Shonen does nothing on my channel. Absolutely nothing. Like, I mean, like the algorithm for my channel goes up and down depending on like how consistent I am with posting, which there hasn't been like anything for a while. But the stuff that hits, it sticks like grits, romance, off-putting, like random obscure, anything that's not shonen has a chance of doing well on my channel. Anything that is shonen, um, Bleach, Dandadan, not Gachiakuta, but
do
like
you find
like
it easier to make than like if you're reacting to romance stuff, is it easier to do the actual reaction than a shonen
no,
show?
so it's easier for me to do the reactions for shonen because I'm just like, okay, I'm entertained, I want to see this, da, 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 da. With romance, I run into challenges with the high school stuff because it does so well. It does well on the channel, but I don't fucking want to watch these high schoolers. I
I
don't
just don't
fucking
want
want.
them doing the same fucking tropes all the time. And high schoolers are very immature, and so there's
Yeah,
always this
it's
immaturity to them.
always
I get what you
a
mean in that regard.
miscommunication, like, or
Constantly.
so and
Yeah.
so said this, or they overheard, but they overheard the wrong thing, but they still went and
Mm.
told so and so. Anyway, it's like it's the same stuff, and I'm not mad. I'm not annoyed with the genre as a whole, but I'm saying the variety is lacking, which has gotten better. They're like that's what we were talking about that a few weeks ago about like how they're starting to do more like adult romances, like the office romances, or just like even the one from this season, the camping one. Like it's like older people like lived experiences of adults just in anime romantically, and it sets that it's just so much more variable. And so it's not that I don't like doing romance, it's that like it becomes just like it becomes monotonous after a certain point. While shonen
Mm.
is kind of just like, okay, well, like it's like I know what I'm fucking getting, but I don't know exactly how I'm gonna get it from this particular
Mm.
series because this is doing it in this way, that's doing it in that way. And so I'm enjoying the shit out of watching those, reacting to those, da 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 da. But then I put in the work to edit, make the thumbnail, all kind of shit like that. And I post that shit and I get nothing. I get absolutely nothing.
Mm.
The only outlier for me was Demon Slayer. And that translated from my TikTok clips going damn near viral on TikTok, and then they came to YouTube to watch the rest of the reaction. Which
Mm.
transferring people between cross platform like that is so fucking hard. But it's
So
Demon
hard.
Slayer. It's Demon Slayer. Like they like they're just like oh, and half the niggas was talking like they were being mean as fuck, but they still watched it. I still got paid. Still got
Joe,
paid.
how about you?
For
Like,
me,
is
yeah, yeah,
there
yeah. This actually helped me realize what it is. It is shows that are that are rooted culturally in the area. So in
Mm.
Korean dramas, ones that are so like heavily rooted in things that are specifically Korean. And
mm-hmm.
then in, anime, it's things that are so heavily rooted in Japanese culture, or like Japanese culture is the base for a lot of what happens. Like specifically, I think of Urusei Yatsura. I found so
Mm.
much trouble enjoying because it is all of the comedy in it is so heavily rooted in Japanese culture. I don't pick up on these things because I'm not Japanese. You know what I mean? That's where I find the biggest issue.
We getting a cat appearance?
I saw that tail come in earlier.
Look here, bro.
Gotta love the cat cameos. At least his cat doesn't talk.
Oh, my cat does
Yay.
talk. He just talks from down there. He doesn't really talk up here
Okay.
because now he's in my
Oh.
lap. He doesn't need to
Look at
talk.
that. But yeah, I
Good
guess I
meow.
was sort of like asking because I as like a creative person, like there's things like I don't work in the same medium, but like, writing or like script editing or other things like that. There's stuff that like I run into and I'm like, I don't know if I'm talented at it, if it's like a talent issue, like you say, a skill issue or not, but like
Mm-hmm.
I just know when I'm in trouble. I know when like, the thought is there, but the execution doesn't really catch up. And it's so interesting to me that in the social media space, especially like anime content creation as a thing, that maybe on the outside as fans or even as like a community of creators, I don't think there's enough like attention paid to people like talking about the craft to say, hey, I might not actually be like well suited to this series or that series or this idea that I had or this genre that I'm engaged in for whatever reason. It gets boiled down to like, oh, I don't enjoy the content. So therefore, like that's the problem. The problem is the
Mm.
content rather than the creator. And like I could totally buy like if like I love movies. If someone said sit down and like do watch every David Lynch movie and then like do live reactions to Twin Peaks or whatever else, like if I hadn't already seen the movie like 5 times, that experience of like trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, be entertaining to an audience and explain it would just be too much for me. It would just be too hard. That's not a knock on even me. That's just like the difficulty level spiked and nobody told me. Like I'm watching, Iron Man and like all these other like pop movies, and then you throw like some art house shit at me and I'm like, oh fuck, I got to be in a totally different frame of mind. I have to be thinking about like metaphor and allegory and the modes of
Mm.
storytelling and all this other shit. And it's like, but and then right before it, I watched fucking Joe Dirt, and like right afterwards, I'm watching like the last Batman movie. Like these things, they're of the same medium, but they're not of the same kind. And maybe that's just the
Yeah.
situation with
Well, that's
Lord
the
of Mysteries and
curse.
some of the drama around it, is that there's some people who are just well suited to consume it and produce on top of it, and others who are not. And some of them would just blame the content instead of not necessarily themselves, but just the level of difficulty of what has to happen to
Mm.
make it work. That's fascinating.
Well, that's the
Um,
curse of being a large content creator, though, especially if you're chasing the algorithm.
mm,
Like if you have the option to do what you want, and your mileage could vary, or you could use your following and basically be like, these niggas are gonna watch whatever I watch, no matter what. But you could also tap into, like you said earlier, they're tapping into those different fandoms. But I can grow my stuff by doing things that I regularly wouldn't do, I wouldn't be interested in. And then you found something that you didn't like, and you're like, you're saying it, and I mean, everybody has an opinion, everybody has their feelings. And you are a public figure on the internet.
Mm.
So unfortunately, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. I think that, and I see a lot on their channel because I go to their channel like occasionally, just to like see like, oh, like
Inspiration.
what no. Ooh, that was shady. Whatever. No,
Inspiration
not that.
in terms of like what you could also do as content, like what like, oh, this one is working or that thing's not, or like that's
Well,
what I
yeah,
mean.
well, I usually trend opposite of them. So whatever they're doing, I don't want to do, because
Okay.
the algorithm's pushing everyone to them already. I'm
Mm.
I'm looking for the shit where I'm like, oh, they haven't covered this yet, or the stuff like that's why timing, all kind of stuff like that is important, because there could be shows from this season that I'm like, yo, this shit's lit, like there's so much good, da 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 da, and then all the big creators start to find out about it, and then they all
Later.
do like one weekend, they caught up, and then they own that. But there's an opportunity for me to get
Yeah.
something before they touch it. So it's just like, what are they doing? What have they not touched? All
Mm-mm.
right, cool. I'll explore that. And it's not like a whole like, oh, cut it, like da 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 da. Like they're doing it, so I cannot do it ever. It's like, bitch, if I want to do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But yeah, no, I mean, and no offense to them. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who are inspired. I've seen like some other reactors who are directly inspired by like your boy. I think there's another like your boy or something like stuff like that that are like
there's
Yeah,
a
super.
lot of your
Rockly,
boys
my
now.
boy. That's
Yeah,
my boy,
It's
yeah,
Rockly.
like the in rap
yeah.
music, like all the Lils, like now it's a bunch of
Oh
your
God,
boys.
no, God damn. But that's the thing though. It's almost become like a genre brand or something like that, but just like not copyrighted or anything like that.
That's interesting.
But it is interesting because like what's it called, like just the search engine optimization or just the research in general. Because you could just like, and I do that a lot. I just throw shit at the wall. I just post shit, and eventually something does well, and I'll be like, "That's cool. I guess I'll keep doing that." And eventually, some stuff just doesn't do well, and I'm just like, "All right, I guess I won't do that." But I'm doing something completely different from them. If I were to cover Lord of Mysteries and I didn't like it, no one would give a single fuck. But because he's as big as he is, unfortunately, and I'm not saying he has a responsibility to the anime community to like give it a fair try. Da 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 da. No, niggas just love drama,
Fair.
and you got caught up.
I feel like we've beaten this one up, but thank you.
That's fair. Yeah, people do just love drama. So
yeah, I do. I thought I listen. I want to know more, so I'm part of the problem.
I think everybody's valid, but I think like the insults. It's kind of just like, what the fuck? It's not that serious. It's not that fucking serious.
Their whole life. All right, come on.
Well, yeah.
Cool.
Speaking of my life, yeah.
we've learned so much. So I guess we'll segue into what we've been watching since Joe is our guest. I'll let him lead off.
Oh God, I'm watching everything.
Okay, what do you like? What do you like?
Here's the thing. This is something I've been saying for a little while. If you ask me what my 3 favorite anime are, my top 3 for this season, I could give you 10 different series. This season is packed with so many good anime. Like, what do I like? Here's a bunch. Okay. I love Lord of the Mysteries. I think it's incredible. I love Lord of the Mysteries. I love Taco P's Original Sin. My Dress Up Darling. I'm starting to like Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, especially after some interactions. These characters, like the decisions the characters are making, like they're people. I love that. Instead of just like filling into or just going down the tropey road that normal romance characters go down. So I've been enjoying that. The summer Hikaru died, absolutely phenomenal. You were mentioning something about like analyzing the like the metaphors of things. Holy shit, this anime is all metaphors. The whole thing's a big metaphor. I love that show. Obviously One Piece, phenomenal. Always gonna love One Piece. Not really seasonal, it's always, but I'm enjoying I feel like we need a little more Gachiakuta before I put it like into the thing, but I can see the makings, like especially with the most recent episode of Gachiakuta, the way Rudo acted. Great. The fact that he took a moment to reflect. Wait, what? You're reflecting on something as a shonen character? That's kind of crazy.
Thinking. Chill out.
Female mangaka.
Clevatess. Oh my God, Clevatess, a hidden gem. No one's really
talk about
loving
that.
Dandadan. Yeah. If you ask me what my favorite anime I'm watching right now is, it's Dandadan. It's my favorite because it is everything that I want in an anime. It's weird, it's funny, it's exciting. The romance, it's a top 3 romance this season, in my opinion. And I just absolutely love the show. And those are probably my big ones. And I might be missing something else, but I'm gonna leave it at just thinking one last second. Yeah, I'm leaving it at that. Yeah, those are the ones.
So that's, I mean, I generally agree. I think that this is a very strong season, and I think it's strong partially because not just like the luck of the draw with a lot of things that are good being out at the same time, but also there's not the oxygen in the room is not being sucked up too much by certain tent poles. And so I feel like a lot of these series, just by happenstance, have gotten more room to breathe and kind of find.
What do you mean by certain temples? Like having like a really big
like
thing?
In prior seasons, we had like a solo leveling, or something like that, where it, regardless of what you feel about the actual content of it, it's just going to get a lot of attention, and so
it's going to detract from everything else.
Yeah. And again, sometimes some seasons are pretty light on just strong production, strong writing, and you kind of have to like hunt around to be interested in something. Whereas like I think there's something for everybody this season. And I think that it's just generally just the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
But I think let's talk about Clevatess a bit. Jordan, are
Well,
you caught up? Or are you where are you
No.
with that?
ah,
No, I'm still episode one.
Okay, great.
ah,
I'm caught up. I know Joe, you've been watching it.
yeah.
So we talked a little bit about before series that might require a little bit more attention. Not a lot. This is not Lord of Mysteries, but partially because the world that they have been building over the first four episodes feels well realized, but down to like the local level of like the stories that the characters are actually involved in. So
Mhm.
in the first episode is very dramatic because there's a lot of people getting sliced and diced, and you
Yeah.
get a kind of a quick intro into like, okay, the kingdoms, and maybe there's this like,
The
you know,
races
a
and
Ronkasite or whatever that can like hurt the beast lords, and then they hit you with like the core question of the show is humanoid civilization worth saving? And then the conceit is that Clevatess turns into a human to walk around with his baby to try to figure out, like, you know, learn about the world. And that becomes our overpowered protagonist who also happens to not know anything about what's going on. So then that's where all the exposition across the story is explaining to him, and then through him to us, kind of like what are the rules of this world, and you know, the cultures and society and everything else. But within the first four episodes, especially the last, like, I guess this little mini arc of the Beast Lord in captivity, you know, dealing with the bandits and dealing with everything else, we
hmm
learn so much about what's going on. We're like introduced to like a lot more of the quote unquote power scaling in the series. I think a lot of the stuff with Alicia when she like throws herself, you know, down the pit and then but
yeah.
cannot die, and that scene where she they brings her back and she's just fucking screaming, and like like there's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that was promised, I think, in the first episode is still there, but we spent a lot more time doing character development on all these bandits and the little culture of what's going on there. So what did you feel about like the first four episodes as far as like, you know, something to pay attention worth paying attention to, because it's not all action, even though there's a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean it's a very dark fantasy. Very much dark fantasy. The things that are really catching my eyes is just I think there's obviously Clevatess like learning about people within the humanoid world that makes Clen go, oh wait, maybe y'all aren't that bad. You're not a bad person. You know, you're stuck in a shitty situation, but like I see value in you, and I also don't think you should be going through what you're going through. It's pretty fucked up. And so I think that there's like maybe a little bit of pity, or I mean, since you know, Clen's a god, um, essentially. So there's like a little pity for them, and maybe a little bit of like I want to use a different word that's less rude than pity, but I think it really does boil down to pity more than anything else. Um, there's that, and then you know, the I think that they mentioned that Clen was one of these ancient, what do they call ancient ones? I think is what they
Ancient
are
ones,
called.
yeah. We run into
Yeah, I
another one
yeah,
that's a little
the
more
in the
mindless.
whole.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if they mentioned that Clevatess was or wasn't. I don't really remember.
It's not
Or
totally clear to me if the Beast Lords themselves fall under that same category, but they are,
mm,
you know, it's not totally clear to me.
mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I mean, there's like this element of the kingdoms all obviously being sort of at war with each other. You know, they're not best friends, but then they're all just stuck at the center of this thing because if they go any further, there's an even bigger enemy out there. And like, why aren't the bigger enemy just coming in? Why is there you know some sort of standoff between them when they could it looks like, I mean, we see Clevatess just jump in, destroy a major kingdom. Why not
Hmm.
just do that? I guess I don't know. But I think the main thing is the first thing that I mentioned about Clevatess, like sort of like starting to learn about these other people and like the things that they go through, and maybe think, you know, you guys aren't that bad. And also I think that Clevatess mentioned that he also, I thought that Clevatess was a lady for the longest time. because
Oh,
I mean, Clevatess, I think of like a duchess, right? Like
Yeah.
I see the S at the end.
Countess.
Cervantes.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what a Cervantes is.
Oh,
Is it another
like a
lady?
Spanish name, but like a pirate or something, right? Am I
So,
Yeah,
misremembering?
but
it's
I
like,
see
but that's
the
like a masculine name.
Yeah.
oh well, I see the S at the end, the ESS, and then I just think, oh, that's a lady. And then also takes on the form of like what is Clen, which is literally the mother or the female caretaker of the baby that she killed or let die, which was a woman.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so a woman. I also thought the baby was a girl too, because the baby's name's Luna. I don't know a lot of
Yeah.
guys named Luna, but then
Yeah,
apparently
they
not as a boy named Luna.
the yeah, it's a boy. They said that in the first episode when the dude came to the ruins
And
because he called them the prince.
I don't know how I'm an S tier Lord of the Mysteries reactor and I miss these things, but I just am. So
I mean,
I missed that
sometimes the
shit
details
entirely.
matter, sometimes they don't.
I just
Yeah.
missed it. But
But the thing is,
anyways,
you missed it and you still got it.
yeah, eventually it just took me a little while. Also, people are just pointing it out like, yo, that's a girl. And I was like, oh. Oh, well, actually for the Clevatess one, I realized that was a guy. But the girl, the kid, the baby boy, I kept thinking that was a little girl until somebody like checked me on the Clevatess thing and the baby, and I was like, oh shit, didn't
Interesting.
know. I forgot the point that I was making that I found interesting, but
Well,
my
that
brain doesn't
it's
work.
that in this dark fantasy, the character of Clevatess or Clen is not the omnipotent evil that you might have assumed from like the framing of the first episode, but they're not really a good or a morally good in the traditional sense, hero, nor are they really an anti-hero either. That's why it's a very interesting character. I think when we talked about the first episode, I just said that the Clevatess character is kind of an alien, and
Mm,
like
Well, also
that's
we were given that history and all that stuff from the human perspective. So like
true.
we're going into it from their perspective, not like the worldwide perspective. So I guess they're gonna drip feed us all of it.
yeah.
Yeah. The other
But
thing that I
in
wanted
the
to mention about Clevatess was I think Clevatess was like, yo, now that I got this baby that's important for the doors, maybe I raise this baby up to take over the doors, and then I got an in to control a kingdom in the human world. I'm pretty sure Clevatess kind of said something like that too, right?
In the first
the
episode, he alluded to wanting to like be a to have to be like a shadow ruler
Yeah,
through the
yeah,
child.
yeah. Okay. So there was that too, which is like kind of an evil thing to do a little bit, but maybe it is a little more of a gray area, especially after being attacked by these people. I mean,
Yeah. But I think that's what I appreciate the most is that if you're going to spend a lot of time with characters that you don't know very well, it I think that it's very important to maintain at least like some level of ambiguity about what they're about, what do they really want, because it's a little almost like boring is maybe like too strong a word, but it's too common, especially for coming out like the shonen and shonen adjacent methods of storytelling, to have to like lay out exactly who a character is on their face, and then in order for the audience to like connect to them, because that's not typically how we digest stories, but it is definitely a comic and anime and manga thing because everyone's drawn so broadly that it's like I'm good and I believe that people shouldn't die, and like it's very on, everything's like very on the nose. And a lot of times in like especially in dark fantasy, there's and then maybe I blame Berserk for this because Miura is so good, but like being able to start with strong characterization and adding layers over time and still maintain a very ambiguous connection to like things that happen in the world is a hard task. So usually they just don't. They'll just be like, I'm dark and edgy and I have a mystery about me that you will find out over the course of the story. And the mystery is like usually they watch a lot of people die because something happened. And like that's why they're edgy boys and girls is
mhm,
because of
mhm,
that.
mhm.
Right? But in this series, the Clevatess character, yes, we don't know very much about him, but the way that we learn is through his actual growth by experiencing the world with us, which is a very unique experience compared to the stuff that is generally out there. Like his character is changing before we've even gotten to know where he started, but because he's such a fish out of water in this like very alien thing, you know, that's now being confronted with these humanoid societies that are sort of kind of allegorical to, you know, real stuff that happens in our world, because all the we deal with like the stuff with the wet nurse, and how she's being abused, and her backstory, which is, you know, very very tragic, and something that's not
So fucked
often
up.
talked about in pop culture and anime. The idea of like, you know, feeling like your only value is as a mother, and then not being able to, you know, be a mother because of the way you're treated and the way the society is, and like all that stuff. Like that was a excellent thing to add. Now, would I have gone about presenting it the way that they did in this story? Maybe I would have made different choices personally, but like that, something that difficult, throwing that at a character that's in the process of forming, I think is a really interesting thing to watch. Forget the violence and the magic and the swordplay and the good animation and everything else. From like a writer's prompt, like that's an interesting problem to cut at, and I think they did a pretty cool job of getting me interested in and breadcrumbing a lot of other details about the world through that storyline. And if that's how they're going to handle other things going forward, I'm very 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 excited for the series this year.
Yeah. Also, the ending theme is amazing.
True. Yes.
Love it.
Oh, I never, still haven't heard it yet.
Ellie Goulding does it. It's great.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Jordan, you want to talk about something maybe you are more caught up on?
Yeah, I mean, well, for Gachiakuta, I'm sold, and I'm primarily sold because it's something that you said previously, James, about how they're taking their time, and they're getting two cores, so they can take their time. They can chill, they can do it. But the episode from this week, that shit had me screaming, laughing. That was fucking entertainment. That was some good shit, and that's the difference. It's like other literally like other shonen, it's like, okay, yeah, like they do comedy, like they try to intersperse it here, da 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 da, but it's nothing like that. Like that was something that was just like, nah, this nigga he just grabbed something out of there, and it just happened to be that, and now shit is his weapon. Shit is
It's
his
just
it
garbage.
is his
Like
weapon.
anything he picks up,
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
I'm gonna fuck
like
you
yeah,
up.
like shit is
You
his
watched
weapon.
the new one, right, James?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I also
Yeah.
read a lot of the manga as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah. Anyways, about that. So I went and watched Mangora, Apocalypse Bringer, Mangora, and I
Okay.
fucks with it now. I fucks with it now. I
It
fucks
took a
with it
little
now.
bit.
It took a little bit. It took a little bit, but it's literally the like, it's exactly what you said, which was like the world building. Honestly, it's giving like the Zerg from StarCraft, just like chill. Like way more chill, way
chill
like
Zerg.
yeah, I know that I'm just like an and like it doesn't make
That's
sense,
funny.
but like
No,
it's like
funny.
it's like because of like the units that they're building, and like, you know, the hero that they want to summon because they haven't gotten that yet, but like the way that like everything is like the homunculi, like look at the way that everything is so like contorted and grotesque, and like there's like part of it is like insectoid, and the other part of it is like, you know, like humanoid flesh based, and then they're talking about like the scouts, the food system, like all kind of shit like that. I'm just like, bro, this is like a tactical SRPG, like literally like Command and Conquer, StarCraft, like all that kind of
Very
stuff.
Civilization, I think, is
Yeah,
the
Cool.
yeah,
I'm
Civilization.
not watching that show.
But
it sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, I gave up on it like really early. I was like, I'm not getting through this first episode, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna finish this shit. Got to the end of the first episode, and I was like, let me see this. All right, and then now I'm like, you know what? I need to see where this is gonna go. I need to see where this is gonna go. So I am enjoying that like a lot. What about you, Jace? I mean, I've watched a whole bunch of other stuff. I even watched something.
Let's go
I
back
watched
to
a lot of stuff.
Gachiakuta, because I think we've all
Okay.
kind of we've all watched, we've all enjoyed. Joe, what were you feeling like the first couple of episodes? I know the most recent episodes kind of getting us more into the, we'll call the core story, but like the first episode is introduction to the floating sphere city, and then the second episode is Rudo crash landing on Earth and sort of learning what's down in the garbage dump. But
Mhm.
what was your experience, kind of as a both like live reacting to it, but all because it sounds like you didn't read the manga, so you were coming at it pretty
No.
fresh. Am I
I have a
wrong?
volume of it though. I think it's this one right here. That's
Okay.
free
No pun
Rinsodas,
intended, by the
and
way.
that's
Coming at it fresh.
golden content.
Uh, but yeah,
Uh,
what was your feeling about the first couple episodes, and maybe we can talk about
yeah,
the latest one.
so first episode, I was like, all right, so this is a basic revenge story.
Yep.
But I will say that I tr it did go down a trope direction with Regto. I was trying to go down the more wild trope direction where, oh, so his dad's dead, but his dad
Oh,
was betrayed by his best friend. Well, I don't remember if it was dead, but his dad's not around.
Yeah, you were thinking maybe the
Um,
uncle was like,
I was like,
mustache
so
twirly
his
evil person.
Regto is was his dad's best friend, and he killed him. And like I was trying to do all that shit with him, but it's
mm.
more a little more generic, which is um Regto is the amazing mentor character that you lose. It builds your character further. And because loss builds character, I always say that death builds character is what I always say, but loss in any way builds character. And so a lot of what I like a lot since then is we're seeing like those things that Regto taught him show up, and he's reflecting on these things. And it's three. See, episode three might have been my favorite episode of the whole thing. Episode two was like, yo, we got powers and shit, and there's big monsters. So that was really cool. But and also it introduces him with his power being not, oh yeah, there's this one item that I love and it is powerful. It's more these gloves, when I touch anything, that shit has power. And so you got your stick, you got your umbrella, whatever. I got anything. Anything is my weapon. And I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I think episode three for sure, especially with Rudo and his moment reflecting because he gets pissed off, which by the way, I mean, he just grabbed a random stick. He didn't know it was a guy's stick. It's not like the guy was standing in the alley where he
Yeah.
could see him and he stole it out of his hand knowing that he was there. He saw a stick leaning out of a corner, grabbed the stick from out of the corner and then ran with it. And also I heard that the subtitles were off. They said like this stupid stick or something, and in reality he was just like this stick. So
Oh,
that's
I didn't
kind
see
of
those.
Yeah, like
yeah,
Okay.
he was really
apparently
saying it's
that's
like
what I was
random
told.
stick, not.
Yeah, he's like this. It's just a stick, but in the subtitles it was like it's a stupid stick, and so like it was like added. I guess they just wanted to add more to it.
Yeah.
But the fact that he like reflects for a second, thinks back to Reito and it's like, yo, Reito did tell me like, that these things are important. Everyone, has these items that they, the soul is in it, and like maybe I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't just jump the gun and like be mad at him. Maybe I should take a moment to reflect on the situation. And he's like, yo, my bad, man. I shouldn't have said that about your stick. And then it's like, oh yeah, thank you. All right, we're cool. And I was in that moment, I was just like, damn, he like took a moment to reflect. That's so rare to see because most shonen anime is kids, and in my opinion, kids are pretty stupid. So they do and say dumb things, and they don't really reflect. They don't have the experiences, the lived experience of being an adult and like knowing the outcomes of situations. And so they do and say dumb things. And yeah, again, shonen anime, it's kids, so you would expect that. But yeah, he just reflected, and that was really nice. I like that. That
I
was
mean, I
Yeah,
could take a moment to talk shit about people, because people don't raise their fucking kids, so that's another reason as well.
I mean,
They
that
don't
sounds like you're
teach their
talking about
fucking
Taco P, but
kids.
yeah.
I
Oh, I
think
have no idea what that show
Rudo
is. People keep asking about it though.
Rudo is a very refreshing um shonen main character because his core concept is one that's very relatable, but it's also one that is not often explored as like a principal character trait. So like he everything there's a concept, you probably heard of it before, of like a Japanese aesthetic, like the wabi sabi movement, the idea of like finding beauty in like imperfect things or impermanent things, and underneath that the art form of like kintsugi, which is like transforming something that's broken into something that's like valuable and beautiful without covering up the broken parts of it,
Oh, like
right?
the
So
gold lining and
yeah,
the cracked
exactly.
faces
Yep.
and
It's
things.
like
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
I
where you
know
see
that.
like
Yeah,
you
Okay.
yeah.
see the joint, you take like a pot, you break it, and then you put it back together, but you use like gold lacquer or something to
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
show the parts that are broken. Rudo's core characterization we're introduced like almost immediately is that he's someone who finds value and beauty in trash,
Mm,
right? Because like that's the core conceit of the entire series. It's all about garbage, right? How people relate to garbage when they're up in the
mm.
sphere city. There are literal humans that are being treated like garbage by other humans. Then you have Rudo, who we are introduced to as someone who goes and raids the garbage dumps of the wealthy people. He like his character was not I'm Robin Hood breaking into the wealthy homes and taking things that are valuable and bringing them back to the people. He was like I'm raiding the garbage dump. And even doing that was like a whole thing. Then so you have the hierarchy of the ruling class and then the underclass who are treated like garbage. Then inside of that underclass, because of his dad's history, he is also treated like the garbage of the garbage, right? Because you see the kids, they're picking on him in the beginning, and they're telling him about like it's because his father is fucking awful. Then to take it another step further than that, he is also disfigured, like physically disfigured.
The hands.
So not just is he treated poorly because of like things that are outside of his control, he is also a broken thing in the eyes. Like he's literally broken, like his hands are torn up and burnt up and whatever. And then he gets the gloves, and the gloves, they are not treated like a thing he's using to hide necessarily his hands. He says that he's in pain all the time, and the gloves are actually a thing that like helps him, not feel that pain all day, every day. And so he came to value them. And then when we first meet him, he like without the mask, without the everything else, he's repairing and trying to pass along the garbage that of the upper class, but like as like, hey, this is a useful thing, this is a beautiful thing. He gets the bear, it's a toy. And we even get the scene before he shows up of the family being like, oh, it's this bear is broken, fuck it, throw it away, like we'll just get a new one, who cares about this thing? And then you see Rudo treasuring it, fixing it. He wants to give it as a gift to his little girlfriend, like all that stuff. And then we get the inciting incident that drives him out of the Sky City, gets him framed for murder. And that's a mystery that we don't know the details of, because why was the Reito character assassinated, and why was it important to frame Rudo for that assassination? Why wasn't he killed? He could easily have been, killed in that moment. So now we've got an antagonist that we can really sink our teeth into, a mysterious person that he can chase, and then he falls into the world of the dump, cursing everyone. I don't know how to feel about the fact that the girl also kind of turns on him in the last minute, because it's
I
like
mean,
that's an
she's a kid.
Yeah.
unusual twist, but it's good because it like separates him completely from the Sky City. Like he has nothing to go back to. Like everyone's taking a shit on him, and then him falling like screaming into the garbage dump, and then immediately cold open on like big shonen action piece in episode 2. I think that's a great 2 episode introduction to what the show's all about.
Yeah,
Yo,
because the people
you
wanted that.
you blew my mind with all the early shit about like the he's broken, fixing broken, and all of the I didn't even look at it from that perspective. And that actually like makes this show so much better in my eyes now. Not that I thought it was bad at all. But I felt like, you know, I didn't think that it matched up with everything else. It's also 1 week less than everything else because it did have the off week. So we
Yeah,
should be
no,
on episode 4.
yep.
Um, damn. That was
So it's a
really
theme. Like
interesting.
it's just a commitment to a theme.
I
But we
like
don't
that.
usually
No, I
we
like
usually
it. I
get the
love it. That's
plucky,
awesome.
shonen protagonist who's like, no matter what horrible shit happens to me in my life, I will believe in truth and justice and da, da, da. And Rudo is like very much not that. Like he is he is thoughtful. and he is somebody who, as we saw in the third episode, you know, reflects on stuff that happens and tries to make things right and everything else. But his core character is one of like, in a world where no one values anything, he's someone who can value anything, which is how his power works. His power works
I love
by
it.
like, you know, anything he touches, because he has an appreciation for all this discarded anything. He can do things with the same power system that other people have to, like, you have to have this like deep connection with the staff or with the umbrella or with anything else in order to get your powers to work.
Mm.
He is like a, you know, a like infinite empathy for physical objects, which is
That's
not
awesome.
that's a very unique and interesting approach to, you know, a hero's power. So I appreciate that part. What do you feel about the, like, the presentation, like the animation style, the sort of like
Great. I
everything?
think it's
Yeah.
very Tokyo Revengers-esque, the art style. But
Yes.
apparently it's like supposed to be the assistant
Okubo.
Okubo. Yeah.
of yeah, when they were working on was it? No, when they were working on Fire Force, right?
Fire
Not Soul
Force.
Eater.
Yeah. It's very
Um,
graffiti inspired. Yeah.
but I look at the stuff and I'm like, yo, this is very Tokyo Revengers-y in character design. That's what I
Yep.
think of. But I like it. I like the way everything looks. I think it looks great. It's intriguing. I like how like the weapons can shift from being kind of like an ordinary thing to being like a extraordinary thing. Um, the art's good, the animation's good. Yeah, I like the design of the everything's in the trash and stuff. It's cool. I like it. And the
Yeah.
graffiti everywhere, of course, that's cool.
Yeah, last week we talked about, maybe we didn't talk all that much about it, but it was about the silhouette test. So when you do like character
Mm.
design, one of the critical sort of things that you want to see if you pass is the silhouette test, which is, if I just have a silhouette of this character, can I ID them? You know, so that
Mhm.
usually what that's doing is like, it's trying to get the illustrator to key in on what are the physical features that distinguish this character from anybody else. And I think Rudo, unlike some anime protagonists of fairly like well-known series in the last couple of years, absolutely passes the silhouette test. In fact, a lot of characters in Gachiakuta pass it, because for him, his hair
Yeah.
is a little weird looking, but like it's very distinctive. The big oversized gloves, it gives a lot of Digimon, like that sort of style of drawing young people. A lot of like oversized clothing, baggy clothing, but all everyone has a unique shape to them. Every character looks like unique enough that you could pick them out of a lineup. I can't necessarily say the same thing about like Tougen Anki or some of the others that are trying to get on, which I like. These are all
Yeah.
things that I like,
Yeah.
but like, just design wise, it feels just as strong as some of the other very notable series that have come out in the last few years. So I'm impressed that, like, it's just, I don't know, it's just fucking cool, man. It's a cool ass show.
I agree.
Cool as fuck. All right.
Speaking of Togen Anki, that shit's I like that. That's some fun
Tomodachi's not
shonen.
bad. No, it is not
Some
bad.
fun
But
shonen. Yeah.
there's levels, you know, like,
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I like. Did you watch this week's? What did it? Is it this week's one? Whatever, whichever one. The beginning of the trial of the first trial.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was especially the ending, because all the bickering, and then he shows his power, and both the teacher and the head student are surprised, and then boom, in episode. It's just like, all
Imagine his
right,
power is like school
okay,
shooter.
literally,
Okay.
literally, but you know. But there's like stuff about it that's interesting, like homegirl calling her power her sister. It's like, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
there's something there, there's something like
Mhm.
that. But then the shit that they like shows do blood, but when that nigga literally like opens his
That was
fucking
crazy.
arms
Yeah,
and
That,
shit
oh.
up,
that's the gimmick that has me coming back, because I think that part, every time they do, like, it's not body horror, it's like gore. Where they do like
gore,
gore
gore.
in service of like a thing happening, not just like someone getting like cut in 8 pieces, but just like
Yeah,
the gore is actually kind of part of visual presentation of the powers, they actually do a pretty
Chainsaw
good
Man.
job, even when a lot of it is like
Fucking
CG
crazy.
or half CG. They like I like the effects. I think
I
it
Yeah.
makes
mean,
it stand out and
I
look
don't think it looks
different.
bad at all.
No,
yeah, no,
not
I
at
don't think it
all.
looks bad. I mean, it's just not like it's not A tier stuff. Like it's doing what it can do.
Yeah.
I like the little shit because the teacher has the thing that Annie had from Attack on Titan from the
Hmm.
first season with the little ring with the little slit, and it's just like transform bitch. Doop.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, so I was like, okay, that's cute. And I was thinking, like, okay, it probably won't get that crazy. Like, Homeboy lost okay, well, actually, no, because Homeboy lost an arm in the first episode and then like made his sword come out the nub and continue to fight. So actually, no, yeah, they can continue. But that shit in the opening, it shows he has like chainsaws coming out of his back. So I'm
Hmm.
just like, bitch, how is that gonna like how you about to activate that
Yeah.
shit over there? Like, oh my God. Um, but yeah, the gore is there.
I think the
The
strength
gore
of
is there.
Togen Anki is actually in its action direction. Um,
Mm,
which is a good strength to have when you don't have a lot of money, that you
Hmm.
can like maybe it's not so much in like the minute to minute like exposition. Like when you gotta have a lot of people standing around talking, they don't necessarily find a lot of interesting things to do with like
mm-mm.
cameras and effects. There's like some cool shots that like I think are, you interesting to like break up the monotony. But when it comes to like action direction or like motion and movement, like that's a
Yeah,
clear strength of this team,
Hmm.
is being able to like show impact and speed. And like I think my golden rule for shonen is that if I watch a fight, every 15 seconds I need to not have any questions about where anybody is, like where stuff is happening in the
yeah,
space that it's happening in. Like if I'm confused, like if there's a cut where like a guy's on one side of a room and then there's another cut where there shit is happening, it looks like it's on the other side of the room, and I'm like, okay, well, how the fuck did we get from A to B? Like it looks like we went from A to C. That's what takes me out more than like shitty off model animation, because like that's just a, the like bad animation or like
that's
low quality
direction.
animation is just a result of like time and effort. But like action choreography and direction is a talent. You either have that talent available to you in your production or you just don't. Like it's not a you can't make up for it with any amount of glitz and special effects. So like every time they get an action scene, I'm like, I can follow what is going on. It's visually interesting. When they have to use CG, they actually like do things that are what did we talk about in the first episode? There were like camera shots where they were taking advantage of the fact that they could had a 3D camera and would like
Yeah,
follow the action with the camera in a way that made
homeboy
like
running on the
logical sense.
wall as the
Exactly, yeah, the
bullets
wall,
were like
the
going
wall
at
run and
him.
everything else. I'm like,
Yeah.
someone involved here knows how to direct action. It's like when you watch like Ruby and like everything else about Ruby, like the
Mm.
storytelling, the world building is fucking god awful, and in some ways might even be like evidence of criminality. But like the action direction, especially early on when Montiel was still alive, you could just tell that there was like a very clear understanding of kinetic movement and camera work and how to make those things kind of function together. And that is why I like Togen Anki, is because there's some fucking talent, you know, on the direction side, and I really enjoy watching that.
Hmm.
Um,
So you're not watching Taco P's Original Sin?
I need to. It's on my list of stuff.
Yeah, I
I'm
heard it's
only
already
watching like
done. It's only six
One
episodes,
more
so
episode. One more
yeah,
episode. It is the biggest anime
yeah,
airing right
yeah,
now. It's
yeah.
huge.
Everybody's talking about it.
yeah, I
I,
see it. I see it. I tend to
I mean,
like,
I'm not on
much like
Twitter.
Rudo, I root around in the garbage before I get to like the stuff everybody
There's a lot
likes.
of good garbage. There's
There
a
is a
lot of
lot. Yes.
fucking good garbage.
When you're talking about bad parents, man, that's what that show is. That show is bad parents. And when you do get around to watching it, you will see it is just it's good though. It's a very good show. Very good show. Also amazingly animated. And like you can tell they took the time to animate the show. Um every frame is like hand drawn and like good and like well done. It's just phenomenally animated and it's an interesting story. Highly recommend. Yeah.
Okay.
I will probably get to it very soon. Uh, have you been watching Seventh Prince season two?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Big
I
boobs.
mean, it's for me that show is just it's fine. It's
That's all you
Deeply
can say.
troubling in some
Yeah,
ways.
that's all you can
yeah, I mean
say.
it's thick thigh Shota, and
Eh.
you know,
This
I
shit
don't
ain't
know,
even
like
thick.
nothing.
Just
It's
it's blatant.
yeah, it's I mean, I don't know what's it's but even like the things that are going on and is like it's okay. I mean, like cool, the fights are really cool and like, oh yeah, he's like learning the new magic and stuff. But and then they've got the one priest guy that's introduced, and that could be interesting. But I mean, it's just fine. It's kind of like just a more of season one, and I'm waiting for like something bigger to happen. And
Oh.
but I'm enjoying it. It's just not like
It wants to have like an emotional core, but the best parts about the show are in
Demon Lloyd.
is really like the over the top wacky action.
mhm.
Like
Yeah, for sure.
that is you know when we talk about like you know the McDonald's hamburger effect, like when you go to McDonald's you know exactly what you want. You want the Big Mac, right? So as long as you get the Big Mac, you don't need to think about the fact that like the meat quality it might be iffy or like the cholesterol is probably going to kill you. You have shown up for the Big Mac, they delivered the Big Mac, all is right with the world. But when you try to eat like McDonald's after it's been out for 35 minutes, it's a little bit cool. It doesn't you all of a sudden you think about all those things. Like when you're trying to like rehydrate the fries and maybe you like stick the Big Mac in the microwave and it's getting a little fucking sloppy. The lettuce is not crunchy. You're like, oh, man, I think I see all the things that I shouldn't be noticing. And that's kind of how I feel about Seventh Prince is like when I get a fresh episode and stuff is happening, I'm like, I'm eating the McDonald's Big Mac. If I have to think about what is going on for more than like 5 minutes, I get a very uneasy feeling in my stomach that maybe I shouldn't be watching this.
And that someone's gonna walk in.
Right? Like maybe I because I'm not even really enjoying the things that it's lingering on. You know, like it's doing this for someone who is not me. So
Yeah, yeah. I've never had a Big Mac in
that's
my life.
I mean, it might be. Now Jordan, I know that you said last week that you were getting into Water Magician, and I caught up on that one, and
Oh no, I
I have
didn't
thoughts. I'd
catch
like to know
up
what
on
your
that
thoughts are.
one. No, I didn't watch that one.
Oh, you
I
didn't
went to go
watch it.
watch the trash, like we said. I went to the
Well,
trash.
I don't know if Water Magician is or isn't trash. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, you're farther in than me. So like, I mean, I enjoyed the first episode, but it didn't do anything like phenomenal. Like it was kind of just like, oh, this is Isekai wrote like we're getting into he's learning the power system. He's learning how to he specializes in this power and blah 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 that kind of stuff. And he met a dragon and that fucking monster came back for seconds and evolved because he was like, bitch, you took my eye. Like I want my
Hmm.
lick back and then got killed. Like the Dullahan being the fairy king or something like I was just like there was a lot of stuff packed in that first episode. But I was like, I'm interested. I can see a lot of these plot lines expanding. Um, but I was like, but I didn't follow back up on it. But I will go follow up now that I know that you went back to it.
Okay,
I need to go back to it. Okay.
Joe, have you watched it at all?
No, I'm not watching that one.
Okay, then I'll
I
keep it
figured it's
brief,
kind of more
and we'll
generic.
yeah. So we'll definitely come back to it. I think that the Water Magician wants to be a lot of different shows that are good. But it is not a bad show, and it took about 4 episodes for it to find something to do that would make me and I think a general audience tune back in
Oh,
regularly. But it did take 4 episodes to find that. The one thing I'll say, and maybe this is like a bigger conversation for later, is what do you do in stories where the most important stuff happens immediately and then like nothing as important as anything that happened in the very beginning goes down till the end? Because I feel like that's a isekai problem where like literally the most important thing to happen in a plot is the main character, something happening to them, and then they get transported to the other world and are given a bunch of stuff. Like that's usually the single most important event almost in the entire story until whatever the finale of the story happens to be. And it's like
unless you're Sukamichi Moonlit Fantasy.
unless you're Sukamichi, right? Like, but even there, like it took a little bit for that story to decide that it wanted to be something more
Yeah.
important, you know. And when it did, you're like, oh, okay. this is good. Like I've said all the time that especially in like a lot of manhwa that I read that are very genre specific. So a lot of the returner stuff, a lot of the the tropey things, the best ones get good when they decide to throw away the original conceit or concept. Like once you've decided that I don't care about the isekai aspect or the returner aspect, like we've done something in the story where none of that part matters anymore to what's going on. The main character doesn't have foreknowledge of the future. The cast of characters is now distinct and separate from anything that they knew about, and they're just and you have to like land on your feet as just a normal story, right? Like develop a narrative, set up antagonists, set up problems, set up clashes of ideologies, set up a system for the main character to learn and understand about the world. Once you get to that part, you kind of find out, is there any meat there? And I feel this kind of way about Water Magician is that the most important stuff feels like it happens in the first episode, and I was
Mm.
worried watching the next few episodes that like we would never get to anything as interesting or as important as what happened there. And in episode 4, the story finally decided to be about something else. Like it's not just the fish, totally like fish out of water. I don't from Japan. I don't know anything about this world. Like we moved into the main character having an actual conflict that had that they can go develop
Within the
on their
world.
own. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that started to feel good. But up until that point, I'm like, you just want to be Frieren, you just want to be Mushoku Tensei without any of like either the questionable decision making or the emotional depth of either one of them. Um, so yeah, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Someone spot us another one. Joe, what else have you been watching that
Are you guys
strike?
watching The Summer Hikaru Died?
I am, yeah.
I'm not.
It is so good.
I
The
was
whole
locked in
thing,
from the trailer.
yeah, same. I mean, the same. It is giving like a did you watch Summertime Rendering,
Yes.
Jordan?
That's why I was into it. Jordan, did you watch Summertime? I thought you
Man,
I watched the first episode of Summertime. Does it?
it
I love Summertime
so
Rendering.
essentially The Summer Hikaru Died is giving off a very like spooky what's going on in the small town um supernatural horror vibe. But everything in the show is an analogy for homosexuality,
Mm-hmm.
and specifically within a like a small town, like the small town stuff. So like everybody knows what's going on. Like everyone knows your family, everyone knows your family's history, the things that's going on with you, and they know that you're friends with the one kid, and then like they if they know that someone's gay, they treat them like shit. I don't remember what they said. I think it was like diseased or something like that. He had like
Yes.
a
Like
sickness or
he
something
was
like that.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, and then Yoshiki's like, no, he's not sick, he's gay. And then and like um everything, like all of the big moments are like very much like metaphorical, or I don't even know if that's the right word, analogous, whatever word is the word for like an actual situation between like for someone experiencing romance for the first time, and then even deeper, like specifically a gay romance for the first time that they're like, I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, it's like
But
but almost like an obsessive sort of like even like the first episode, like the theme of like metamorphosis and like change gets imputed on top of that concept, and it's all in that paranoid sort of like claustrophobic small town
small
environment.
town.
Like yeah, like I was like, this is fucking intense.
It's so good. The show is just so phenomenal. It is like one of and that's when if you like genuinely ask me my top three, I would find it so hard not to put that show in there. It has been so phenomenal. I absolutely love it every single week. I love the way that they present the information. I hope people that are that like have an issue with homosexuality watch this show and then maybe don't realize it, but I don't know, maybe it like sneaks into their subconscious and then they stop being so fucking hateful or whatever, because it's presented in such a digestible way that I don't see how somebody
No,
could not
Joe,
enjoy this show. It's so
no.
fucking good.
Get the DEI out of my fucking
Thank
anime.
you. We found it. We
No,
found our
no.
example this season. Why aren't there legions of people complaining about woke anime? Like, where are the cry bullies in the comments
The
talking about,
cry bullies.
like it's being forced down our throats? It's like with the,
Yeah, I mean,
they use like the gayest the gayest description of what's happening to describe it too. It's like, dude, it's not that big a deal. It's just art, man. It's
people,
just
all right, it's so annoying. I hate just hearing woke everywhere or DEI or whatever the fucking
I just want to
terminology, the
like
new terminology.
allegedly doing anything uh even remotely like this should be the death sentence of the entire production, but it seems like this is a all-timer. I don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
loving it.
Can
Yeah,
we can we
you're
also
right.
like shout out Games Pictures for like a
Dude,
very
Psy Games is
strong track
phenomenal.
record of bangers.
Phenomenal. I love
It's
Psy Games. And Psy
insane.
Games, I don't know if it's actually true or
Funded by
not,
the
but
horse girls.
Shut
they
up.
said that they're supposed to be doing Kagurabachi as well. I
I
don't know
want
how
it
accurate
though,
that is, but
bro.
that would be
Make it
amazing.
happen. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. They did. That was the announcement a while ago. Listen, I'm all about that. If we could get, oh my god, like I was rereading the first part of Kagurabachi like a couple of weeks ago, and because in my mind I remembered that like the first couple chapters were iffy, like as far as the actual like paneling and like the structure, but there's some fucking gorgeous shit in like that first arc. There's like a great panel. I won't give anything away if anyone hasn't read it, but like it's the showdown between the that arc's main villain and the main character, and there's a panel that's like you're supposed to read it vertically, and something about the way the contrast, because it's a fight that takes place at night. It's in a garden outside of like a ruined sort of like factory slash like temple area, and it's like the one strike one kill moment, but the way the panel is put together, like you will literally, it will take your breath away. You're like, because you feel it in a still image, all the motion and all the tension at the same time. And the moment I saw that, it was like, it's like chapter 14 or 15, very early on in the series. It's like, oh shit, we're all gas, no brakes. Like when this thing gets animated, like
I've heard that it's phenomenal where it is right now.
I'm gonna be looking. This is probably gonna be like episode 4 or 5 at best. If they nail this, that's the Demon Slayer like
Episode
waterfall
19.
moment where people are gonna be like, "Oh fuck me!" Like we got to be on this like
So
hard.
it's unconfirmed at the moment that it'll be done by Psy Games, but like a lot of people are talking about it, so it's rumored. I didn't know that they did this show that you guys love, the Brave Bang 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 Bang.
Yep,
Look
yep,
at that.
Bang, bang, bang.
yep.
Yeah.
They also did was it Rage of Bahamut Zero, which is a
Which is
fantastic.
that's their brand anyway. So
That's their
yeah.
brand, but
Yeah.
it's excellent. The digital rotoscoping they did of like the dance, like in like the second or third episode, is like it's so good. Like go back and watch just that clip. Just type in like Rage of Bahamut dance scene, and it's like that was I think the second series that they had produced and used. I mean they weren't so Games Pictures is more recent. It's a studio they actually like built from the ground up to do like all kinds of stuff. But prior to that, they had pulled in other teams to do like Games stuff. It was under their umbrella, but they didn't
Mhm.
own a studio. But like they'd only had like one other project before then. And then Rage of Bahamut came out. People were like, it's just a fucking card game, anime, whatever. And not only is it like excellently written, excellently paced and beautiful to look at, it had some of the best animation like from a technical achievement level of that year, and they've only been for the most part uh knocking it out on like the production side. So I think give shout out to Games, man. Like they're going crazy.
I'm excited for everything that they make. I hope they do Kagurabachi because Summary Guard is so good right now. The direction on it, everything, man. It's just, I love it.
Which,
And when I
side
didn't even
note,
like we did the preview and I looked, I was like, Cygames is doing this shit? Oh my god. This is amazing.
Side note, off from this season, I think you might actually enjoy this. It's very It's very, because I marathon 2 shows this week that were like completely had nothing to do with the season. But level 99 Villainess is literally like Mob Sakai.
Oh,
Like it's very much so like Mob Sakai, like not like the rote like stuff, but like similar setups, like the isekai person and then the prince and their entourage and them like stunning on the prince.
What do you mean by Mob Sakai?
Reincarnated as like a mob character. You ever watch Mob
So
Sakai?
he finds himself.
I watched
like
it.
the main character is like the side character of like.
I didn't fuck with Villainous level 99. I did not fuck with that show at all.
Oh my god, it was so good. It's like Mob Sakai, but like she's just like she's on the spectrum. She's like autistic, so like she misses like certain like social beats, like social commentary, blah blah blah, like shit like that. But it is very like the way that, but it's more serious. It's like the comedy is there and like the character dynamics are there, so it's similar to Mob Sakai in that way. But it's like a different, like they, but like he's an asshole. He knows he's an asshole. He's sticking to it. And she's like, I'm undisputed, and I'm also socially awkward as fuck because of the way that I was raised, and it's not my fault. But like, I'm just gonna be who I'm gonna be, and if you're gonna be with me, you're gonna be with me. If you're not, like that, like. But the stunts and like the climaxes are very, 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 very fucking similar. Even down to like the final episode, it wraps itself up. Where Mob Sakai is like about to blow the lid off the fucking like world with the season 2, but this one is just like,
I don't know. Like I was shocked when I found out they're making a season 2, and I'm like, and then I looked and I was like, oh, it's got a humongous fan base.
Oh really?
I don't even remember everything that happened in season 1. It's been so long.
I rewatched it. It's still so good. It's so good. Anyway, sorry about that. Like I watched that. No. Yeah, I was like, yeah, you might enjoy that. You might enjoy that. Like she literally, the premise is that because she was a gamer, like she went into the isekai world with like the gaming mindset. And that's how she became overpowered. But then when she tells that shit to other people, they're like, you're fucking insane. Like you're fucking, like you're a monster. Like what are you talking about? Like why would you do these things? Why would you do that? Da, 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 da. So like I like it. I think it's like very much like I would recommend that and Mob Sakai alongside each other.
I'm not watching any romance stuff, but I know that both Jordan, you and Joe tend to
love romance.
Follow. What's going on with the discourse around Rent a Girlfriend?
Oh, I don't watch that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't watch that. No.
No. The only trash anime I'm watching right now is Gachiakuta. That's it. I don't watch any.
Yeah, because people were talking a lot of.
Well, I'm watching
about what's going on, but I have no context for this. So
I watched Private Tutor to the Duke's Daughter.
And
I liked it. I'm gonna keep watching it. I can't lie. I'm not gonna lie. I was afraid that it was gonna be some like lolly gooner shit. And it's not. It is very much so like the first 4, which unfortunately they did like a 4.5 episode this week. But the first 4 episodes are very much so focused on like the magic system, levels of magic, like the problems that she has with magic, the main character's like station and his relation to like the royal families, even though he's like a peasant himself. Like I was like, wait a fucking like. Why does this have so much it's not just like barren, like there's a lot of like seasoning here that I was not expecting going in. So yeah, and I enjoyed that. And Ugly Mug, bitch, I fuck with Ugly Mug. I fucks with Ugly Mug.
It looked great. It looked time. Interesting.
It is.
Why we get the fat bastard like?
It is well. The thing is, like, you would think, like, oh shit, like this is just like some like goofy, funny shit. But like, it starts off like the dude already is ugly in before the isekai life. But the thing is, yeah, I know it is there. But the thing is, he's one of those people who like fully accepted himself and was like, because I'm ugly, I have to move through life like this. So he was like, so Like I like in his sales job, like in his private life, he was like, even though I know I'm ugly as fuck, like I'm an ugly nigga. Like I'm ugly. I know virginity, like all I got, like I'm ugly. I'm an ugly nigga. He was like, he still lived a full life. And then when like something like really shitty happened, it was like a cascading effect. And so it was like everybody was waiting to basically be like, oh, that's why, yeah, an ugly nigga like you would do something like that. Like you ugly bitch. Like da da da. It's like, damn.
Mm.
Then the isekai thing comes along, and that's where like the comedy aspects come into it. But then the other characters, because it's like an ensemble cast, it's like he and three other people who all isekai at the same time, and it wasn't through death.
Oh.
But like when you learn the
And it wasn't three
backstories,
girls. That's funny.
and it wasn't three girls, but when you learn the backstories of the
Oh,
other
God.
people, because
He has
this is
to
like
say it.
the show is like a voluntary isekai where like they do a specific thing at a certain time and then they get isekai. So then when you learn the reasoning for why the other people got isekai, or like what was their quality of life, why did they not want to be in,
That's interesting.
yeah, like why did they not want to be in that world no more? And then also when you're going into the other world, you get to like pick your stats, you get to do all the kind of shit like that. And there's like a caveat where there's like an empty text box. And so like what you type in that text box comes true, and then you can get like extra skill points or less skill points and da 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 da. So the reason why he's overpowered is because he thought it was a joke. So he was like, bitch, I'm the ugliest bitch ever. Like if I touch a woman, like da 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 da. And he ended up with like a trillion points. So that's why he's OP. And then the comedy comes into it where when the group is fighting people and he's just like, I'm keeping it on the load and I'm like OP or whatever, da 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 da. But he continually has to step in, like the leader of the group, the dude, he literally transformed into like an archangel. Like he got like muscular, like white wings, all kind of shit like that. But he didn't want to fight niggas because he was just like, my morals, my morals. So then Ugly Mug is the one that's beating the shit out of niggas and being like, yo, you did that. Look what you did. You fucked them up. I fucked them up.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that is something where I was like, this might be a little awkward, da, da, da. But it actually has some interesting things going on. I don't know if I would recommend it to everybody, but like it's like a fun show. I feel like it'd be one of those fun shows, maybe like marathon randomly, where you'd be like, I heard about this shit. I don't know. And then you'd be like, yeah, wasn't too crazy. And so, yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. Liked it a lot, actually. Yeah.
Cool.
I told you I was watching trash.
The last thing I'll mention is that I did watch one more episode of Hell Teacher Nube. I really like this series. Maybe it's just because like I'm an old man at heart, and I am much like Yurusei Yatsura, the remakes of stuff from like the 80s, with like high quality 2025 animation and updated world, so they're set in the present, but they still kind of have like a retro feel to the way things are drawn, like the city looks, the even the technology that's around. I'm a sucker for it. Now, I did not watch the original Held Teacher. I saw some like clips when the series was announced. I was like, this seems like something I like familiar with, like, but I've never seen it. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're going for. It's actually genuinely like a solid ass show, from like the comedy, which is very limited. It's because each episode is sort of like a little bit monster of the week. You get the through line is the classroom and all the kids and teachers that are at the school, but they're not presented like this is a classroom full of fucking weirdos. Like there are definitely characters with strong personalities. The teachers typically are a little bit more on the extreme emotional zany side of things than necessarily the kids are. And as a result, it gets this like very functional structure where Nube is an exorcist. It's a world where it's not totally unusual that like there would be powered things and supernatural things, but most of the people that we deal with don't believe in that stuff. And then they become victims usually to some kind of like ghost or a possession or a demon or something else. And you spend the first half of the episode with nobody believing that like Nube has abilities, because he's kind of a goof, because he's teaching kids. So he's like kind of Like when I'm watching him, like he kind of feels like an actual like middle school teacher. Like he comes in, he'll like have like a fog machine or something else. He'll do
Oh
something
my
like to like
God.
get the kids going, but like it's very obvious that like they see that he's putting on for this, and so it's treated like a joke. But when he's got thrown down, first of all, the action scenes are extremely well animated, like consistent good animation all the way through. There's a ton of like body horror and like gore because these demons and creatures are getting like smashed into buildings, dissected,
Holy
blown
shit.
apart, or doing that to other things. So there's a real sense of risk and danger in the the like something nasty is bubbling under the surface. Nube gets in the paint, like, and he also in a way like he knows he's not gonna like deliberately hurt an innocent person, but like if they happen to like fall down or get slapped into something, it's not like he cares that much. So sometimes the way the characters he's interacting with get kind of whipped around and beat around in the process of the fights is like I think it's supposed to be comedic, but they never play it necessarily as a joke. In the first episode, one of the girls in the class, she's the only one who believes that like he actually has like supernatural abilities, and there's a kid in the class who's been like acting weird and something like bad has clearly happened to him and his family, and so she's trying to figure out what's going on with the kid, and meanwhile Nube is like tracking the demon, so their storylines kind of intersect at the end when the full possession happens to the kid. And so as he's fighting, she's kind of involved, and there's a point where like he kind of like, to keep her from dying, kind of like knocks her way into like a pole, and she like hits that shit and then like falls down and like very clearly bangs her ass like on the ground, like it hurt, and then she's like, that fucking hurt. She's in like real pain, but he's busy fighting somewhere else. And I was trying to figure out watching, like, I think that's supposed to be a joke. I think this is very funny. It's not a punchline in the show, the canon of the show. It's just a shitty thing that happened to her in the midst of this fight, and that's it. So I think I like that sort of I don't even know what the adjective for it is, but like it feels grounded and a little bit zany and a little bit dangerous all at the same time. And like I haven't seen that mixture of things balance out so well in similar types of like spooky ghost, exorcist, monster of the week style shows. So it made me want to watch a second episode because I was genuinely intrigued, and it keeps it up. So I am casually recommending this to a general audience. I think anyone who likes anime can sit down and watch this and be entertained. So yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know if
Uh,
Joe, did you are you familiar with it or not on your radar?
I heard about it coming into the season because it's another remake of an older show,
Yeah, it is
but
pretty good. So I stand
I
on that.
haven't watched it.
Okay, so that for me is like everything that I've been watching. Is there
I
any
have more
other
trash.
last additions,
I
Joe?
have more
Anything on your
trash.
mind?
I mean, we didn't dive into the other two, the big romances of the season with My Dress Up Darling and
Oh, I'm
stuff.
not
But
caught
I mean,
up.
I
ah,
am, but feel free, expound.
yeah, My Dress Up Darling and Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, those are really good. I like those a lot. I think that the big thing in My Dress Up Darling that I'm loving so far in this season is how Gojo is realizing the shit that he was um held up on,
Mm.
the getting roasted as a kid. That shit didn't mean anything. Like nobody's actually like that. Nobody's actually like treating him like shit. Everyone that finds out what he does, they're like, "Yo, that's cool."
But he
And
isolated himself.
yeah, but now he's like he's able to break out a little bit, or at least he's being put in situations more specifically because of Marin. And people don't treat him like shit, and he's maybe gaining more confidence, and we're meeting new characters and the roles that they play. I love the old man at the fabric shop. He's great. Um, I'm enjoying the season so much, and it's just so fun, and it's my favorite romance of the season right now. It's just so good. Um, and then Fragrant Flower, like I said earlier, what they're doing by not doing the same shit like, you know, a misunderstanding leading into this, but like characters are like reflecting on their actions and the words, and they are like trying to make things right, and they're also accepting of choices other characters make, which is like, what the fuck? It's crazy. Like those two things are huge. Like you're actually
Romance.
like you want something to go a different way, but somebody says otherwise and you accept it. Like that's not something you really see in romance. So I love that so much. And yeah, just the fact that they're reflecting on things. It's so nice. Like if you like you're a dick and then you realize you're a dick and you're like, yo, I know I was being a dick and like listen, this was what's going on and like maybe you're not bad, but listen, maybe let me explain why I was kind of being a dick and then like bro, what? They don't do that in romance. So that's really refreshing and I'm really
They don't do
enjoying
that
that
in
a
real
ton.
life.
People do totally reflect in real life. People do totally reflect in real life. I mean, it is certainly
I
less
think on the
common.
internet they don't do that, but in
No, not at all.
our real life, yes.
Yeah, when you have an interaction with someone that is a close friend of your friend, um, or an interaction with your friend, you you don't want things to actually be bad, or at least, I mean, maybe some people do. Maybe some people just don't give a fuck. Personally, if I have a bad interaction with my friend's friend, I'm probably like, yo, listen, man, the interaction went badly because of this. So maybe we can like fix that and maybe we don't have to hate each other because of this stupid thing. But I've, you know, I guess not everyone's like that, but I find it refreshing because it's not something that happens often. Um, and then the other show that I just love Dandadan. It's fucking phenomenal. And I just always love Dandadan. It's amazing and it's so entertaining and
And it has
oh, it's just so good.
nonstop people basically being like, why are you it has like the Mushoku Tensei thing going on with it, where it's just like if you watch Dandadan, if you watch Mushoku Tensei, then you're like morally corrupt and like you don't
Oh, are people doing that? The Twitter
oh
shit?
they were doing that shit.
They've
Well no,
always
that's on TikTok. Um
Yeah, they
I've
can
seen
eat
all
my
that stuff
ass. I
on
don't give a
TikTok.
fuck.
They were saying that during the first season. They were just like, oh, if you felt comfortable with that first episode, blah 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 blah. And I was just like, girly, the puritanical shit is not for anime. Like
Yeah.
it's it,
Don't
it,
try
it
to
I've
tell me, don't sit on your moral fucking high ground trying to like shout down at me. You're not better than me. All right. Maybe you don't watch this one anime that has some fucked up shit, which is, by the way, it's fucked up for a fucking reason. They're saying, hey, these people are fucked up. They're doing a fucked up thing. So
yeah.
you're not supposed to see them doing the fucked up thing and be like, I like these people. I want them to do more fucked. No, you're supposed to go, yo, those people are doing a fucked up thing. Those are bad guys. It's not like they're good guys doing something
yeah.
that you're supposed to agree with. It's
Well,
so stupid when people do this shit.
all
I
Oh
the
my
think
criticism I
God.
see for Rudy is literally just like Rudy's a bad person. It's like, yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the
That's the
point.
point.
The point of the show is his journey to basically be like, "Are when are you gonna stop being a piece of shit?"
Yeah.
Like that's part of the journey. Like we're not saying like, "Oh, bitch, Rudy's my guy." Like I want to be like Rudy. Like Rudy's my Goku.
The people that
No,
yeah.
say those things, those are the weirdos. Call them out. The ones that are
yeah,
like, oh, I want to be like Rudy. No, no, no. The
Yeah.
CIA, the FBI, lock in on him. That's the one. That's the next guy that's gonna try and get an island and then get a lady to and you're gonna not want to release his files.
I
Like
think that
boy.
that's the next
I
one.
don't have like a particularly like, new idea, or something else, but I think, media consumption and media literacy are like two hands that clasp each other. Like it's not you're not going to learn anywhere near as much about a person based on what they consume as opposed to how they consume it. You could make a list. You could say, "Oh, put down on a piece of paper every movie, every TV show that you've sat down and put more than an hour's worth of your life into consuming." And if you looked at that list, you're not going to know very much really about that person. You're not going to be able to predict what they believe or necessarily think about a variety of like important topics. You're not going to have a clear picture of their like, their moral character or the things that are their first principles and axioms and blah blah blah, the things that you need to know a person. You're not going to be able to figure that out from the list. You will find that out if you ask them how they consume the things on that list. It's a difference. Like I grew up and, I love movies and people would say, give me your top 10 all time. And inevitably there's a certain quote unquote type of person that would put American Psycho in their like, top 10, top 20 movies all time.
Never seen it.
But the
Me neither.
characterization of a person who liked and enjoyed that film is one thing. It's a stereotype. But when you ask them what they think about it, if they say, I think Patrick Bateman is a really cool guy, versus I was deeply disturbed by the things Patrick Bateman did and said and the ideas that presented the movie, those are two completely different people with
Yeah.
very,
100%.
very different, worldviews and outlooks. But the fact that they both watched the same movie didn't tell me anything. It didn't help me distinguish, like, what kind of person they were. So I apply that to all this stuff. Like anime and pop culture in general invites a lot of consumption. And then because we're a very like judgy, moralistic society, we like to judge the consumption, but we're not educated well in how to ask good questions about how someone consumed a thing. We just say, you consumed it, you didn't tell me that it was degenerate and hated it, therefore you must be a horrible person, or vice versa. You said that it was horrible, so you must be good. This is not, we learn very little by those types of conversations, and that's why I get
I
very bored very quickly
I can tell
whenever
you,
the finger pointing happens.
it is President Anime, and it's President My Realm and the
Mm-hmm.
boys love, because the amount of Fujoshis who love boys love gobble that shit down every day, and then they are still homophobic in real life is actually insane. Like it's actually really fucking insane. Like
Wow.
and you'll see it. And I mean, like this isn't something that like you would come across, Joe, but like you know, in the like, because like I'll read stuff online, or like I'll find stuff like blah blah blah, and I'm like I'm reading it, and then you get to the comment sections, and I'll be like, oh yeah, they're so hot, they're so hot, they're so hot, but like. This could just never happen in real life. Like this is just such a fucking like unacceptable thing. Like, and it's like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. So you just read like 5 volumes of this boys' love story, and you're in the comments on the 5th volume at the very fucking end, being like, "This was great. I really like this. I'm so happy that they're happy. Homosexuality is a sin. No one should do it." It's like
That's
what?
crazy.
But it's so common. It's
Oh my
so fucking
God.
insane, and that's so
That's
it's like to
crazy.
James's point. It's like, oh, you read BL? Oh yeah, you an ally? Ally, bitch, go to hell. Literally,
Damn,
like
that's crazy.
and I'm someone who likes to learn a lot about people. Like I find like human beings are the most interesting things on this earth. We are multitude. We contain multitudes. I was talking to my mother actually this afternoon because she was sort of freaking out about world events, and I'm just like, hey, humans are like water. You pour them into a glass, we fill every corner of it. That like good and
mm,
bad. We will find and do everything that is possible to do at any given moment. There's billions of people on this earth. If you think someone isn't a human being, ain't doing something right now that would you'd find bizarre or crazy, if it is possible for a human to do it in 2025, there's a human actively in the act of doing it right now
Yeah.
somewhere on this planet. So like if you want to learn about people, I think it's less important to like dig into their media consumption and rather just dig into them. Like you're not
Mm-mm.
you don't know what you think you know. Virtue signaling on social media does not tell you anything, because what do we learn every time? Every time there's a person, a major public figure who's screaming about one thing loud as they can, wait a few years and you find out that they were doing, thinking, saying the exact opposite. And I know some
Yeah.
folks now personally who are in that world and may have a public persona, and I talk to them like regular human beings, and I tell you right now, there's a lot more going on under there than whatever you think you know about them from
those
their
back
social
rooms in
media.
DC. Everybody know what happened in them fucking back rooms. They can
Right.
act. They can whatever. Anyways,
There's a lot more going on. So don't think you know people that you've never met and never talked to in your life. You do not know these people. Do not pretend. So anyway.
and they are actors, some of the best.
Yeah. Well, we got through reviews. Are there any recommendations that go beyond the stuff that we've talked about?
Yeah,
Oh,
Today?
I've
I
been watching.
recommend. Oh,
Go.
go, Joe.
No,
Go,
no, no. You
Joe.
got it. You
Yes,
got it.
guess
You got
first.
it. You got
Guess
it.
first.
No, but my thing's like a popular thing. You go. I'll go after.
Oh, oh, okay. My shit. The most notorious talker, Noel Stolen, is a cold-hearted nigga. I love it. I love his mantra and the follow through of if you cross me, I'm taking it. I'm going nuclear. I'm going nuclear, bitch. I'm getting your eyeballs. I'm getting the arm. I'm selling you into slavery. You cross me, I'm getting my lick back times 1,000. And
Damn.
that is what Noel Stolen is. I fuck, and he followed through on it all 12 episodes. All 12 episodes. He said, "Oh, they did what? Bet. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you." And he got everybody. He got everybody. So yeah,
I
yeah.
like
Most
it.
notorious talker. Yeah. Oh, I love. Oh man, yeah.
That was, I remember I watched the first episode or first two episodes. I'm like, this is aggressively edgy, but it's
I
also
love. Yeah. Yeah.
this is like
Yes.
I wasn't prepared for how edgy it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Uh I guess I'm like recommending like manhwa and anime and games, but I actually have a book that I want to recommend this week, and it's kind of like
Ooh.
probably outside the boundaries of stuff we normally talk about. So there's a book that was published about 10 years ago that I recently reread because I had recommended it to a friend. It's called The Delectable Negro. And
Hmm.
it's a book about
Oh, when
human
they were eating
consumption
us.
and during like the time of like the US slave trade. It is a history. It's also an analysis of like real like world events. Basically, in a nutshell, they ate us
For fun.
during the time of like slavery and lynchings in the 1800s. It was not unusual for trophies to be taken from the actual bodies of the lynched people and eaten. And there were even like cookbooks and recipes that were published in newspapers about how to consume human body parts. But the book is not just talking about like the cannibalism, but also like the very overt homoeroticism that came along with the way in which like black bodies were being described and even
Yeah.
promoted to
Yeah.
other people. So it's a really cool book. The reason why it came up is that I had a friend who was actually doing some creative writing for an animated pilot, and he was looking for, it was dark, it's like dark whatever, and he was looking for like
Mm-hmm.
real historical examples of like crazy things that had happened that's sort of at the intersection of like culture and racism and sex and all this other stuff, and it like triggered my brain to think about this book, and I had not read it in probably like 8 or 9 years, and so I'd recommended him the book, and then I went back and I read it. It's not like particularly long, but like it also gets into a lot of like what happened to like Nat Turner, because they were mad at that man. Listen, they were mad, and so they turned his body, parts of his body, into what they call quote unquote medicinal grease and sold it as like a revenge trophy. And it's like when I talk about like all this fictional stuff and like all these like dark themes that are in all these anime and everything else, and people tend to think like, well, if you we just talked about this, if you consume this media of this horrible stuff, you're a bad person. There were your grandparents, someone listening to this, your grandparents or great grandparents may have been offered human flesh of a black man as like a casual thing. You think that's crazier
That's
than Rudy
crazy.
being a fucking degenerate? It's like in a
Did it have
cartoon.
the chair? Was the chair in the book where it
Yes,
was like
yeah.
the
They may
black
have his
slaves, the
bone.
skin? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That
So that's
chair is
real
fucking
stuff. So
everywhere.
I actually do
Yeah.
recommend the book because it is a very timely and interesting collection of both facts and analysis that kind of brings in racism and like homosexuality and historical analysis and everything else. But it's just one of those things where it's like, let's keep it real for a second about like what's evil and what's not.
Mm.
That's evil. The cartoon degeneracy is like titillating, but it's also just a drawn picture on a page. it's what it is. So that's my book recommendation is The Delectable Negro. I think it is published by, well, it was written by Vince Woodard or Woodward. Yeah, Vince Woodard. And it's just a good read. It's just a your mind will be blown if you never heard of this stuff before. It is
That's
crazy.
crazy. I didn't know about the eating people. I know mutilation, that's already
Yes.
like, but the eating people is like,
If you ever go on TikTok and you just type in "they ate Nat Turner," there's a lot of people like about like 5 or 6 months ago that like all discovered this historical event at the same time. I have no idea why it popped back up, but there's all these like folks reacting to some one TikToker's like 2 minute rant where they're like explaining what happened. And they just can't fucking believe that this is real. And I'm like, nah, bro,
that's
history
crazy.
is more interesting than fiction. It's 10
Oh,
times
history
more
is
interesting.
so interesting for
It's
sure.
10 times more
100%.
interesting than fiction. So
Recommendations from me. If you haven't watched Superman, go watch it. It's absolutely phenomenal.
yes.
It might be the greatest superhero movie I've ever seen in
Is
my
it
life.
really well, okay?
Yes.
Like comparing
Yes.
it
It's
to
a
what?
because it's
Yes.
really a
Or is it
superhero
like,
movie.
or
It's
is
a
it like
movie about
standalone?
It truly
a hero.
is.
Like a standalone, like it's like
Yes.
it's the new bar.
It's amazing. I cried five
Okay.
times watching it. I cried 5 times watching it. I laughed my ass off. I really enjoyed it. I did have a 10 milligram edible before I watched the movie. So maybe that played into things. Also, I always cry whenever there's a scene between a father and a son because my dad's dead and that shit always hits me. So
I
you can
I do the
count,
same thing. I get real
you can,
heavy in like
yeah,
father son
like
scenes. I
literally,
get
I
real
listened
heavy.
to the Clips new album, and on the first
Awesome.
song, when No Malice is doing his verse about his dad, I fucking cried. I've listened to it like 4 or 5 times since. I cry every time I listen to it. That shit just hits me. Fathers, that just kills me. Anyways, so you can like strike that one off if you want. I still cried four
No,
other
it's a good
times
movie. I
watching this
loved it.
movie.
I loved it.
It was legitimately, it was Superman. It was like everything that he stands for, and it was like a real superhero movie at its core, like truly who Superman is. It was phenomenal. The portrayal of Clark was great. Everything, I loved it so, so much. It was so good. I might be a little bit there might be some like recency bias when I say it's like my favorite ever. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was
It left a really strong
just so
impression.
good. It was just so fucking good. I'm gonna watch Fantastic Four tomorrow. I doubt it's gonna be as good as Superman. I hope that it's just good. Anyway, so Superman, go watch that. And then damn, there was something else. I've been watching Kingdom, which is really good. I know a lot of people
Oh
probably don't watch
wow.
Kingdom
Kingdom is
because
awesome. The
Yeah.
first season fucked a lot of people over because it's not
yeah,
well
That's a
animated,
commitment.
but Kingdom is just excellent.
I've just finished season 2. Fucking great. I love everyone. It's so good. I'm so excited for season 3. I hear season 3 is when it really, really gets good. Season 2 was good. I thought season 1 was good. Yeah, there's some
It's just
shitty
the animation
animation
of
all over
season
the
one turned
place
people
that
off, but
like
it's
will
good.
fuck you up, but it's very good. Highly recommend. And I think that those are my recommendations. Also, if you really want to struggle even harder liking Rudy in Mushoku
Oh,
Tensei, listen to the audiobook or read the light novel. It will make it so
yeah.
much harder to like him
Yeah. They've cut
You're
a
not
lot.
supposed to
because
like that man.
They've
You're
cut a
not
lot.
supposed to.
bro, I listen to this shit when I'm working out in the gym, and sometimes I'll be like, I'll like lower the volume on my phone. Like, I really hope nobody can hear this because this motherfucker says some absolutely wild, true, bro. The amount of times he says, "Nah, I'm actually 45. I'm 50. Like, I'm actually an old man." No, I really am. I did this the shit about the kids, yeah, but also I'm not a kid. I'm a grown man. Like he's constantly saying it. The argument of, oh no, 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 he's right. The argument's so
Nah,
hard to make when you listen to
He's
the
not a
audiobook
good
or read the light
person.
novel. He is constantly talking about how he's not young. It is like,
that's
but
actually like
anyways, the story is good.
my core disagreement with the choice to do isekai reincarnation stories. Like
Mm.
like everything about it, I know why that all those tropes and cliches exist because they're just shortcuts to informate, like making sure that your main character has information about what's going on and eliminating certain like conflicts that you have to like move stories forward.
Mhm.
I know why they do it. Okay, it's just cheap and lazy. But I can never, ever, ever separate myself enough to not remember that I saw or read in the first 10 minutes or 50 pages of a story that this motherfucker lived a full ass life and is now running around as a 14-year-old. Okay? Like I'm a fully grown man. I know what this means. Okay?
Predator.
When I was 15, maybe I didn't get it, but as an adult, I know exactly what the fuck that means and why that's problematic. Like at every possible level, this is a problem. And
That's just
it's just
tough.
there.
Yeah, that's it for me.
All
Inescapable.
right. Well, where can they find you, Joe?
I have 3 different YouTube channels. Freshest Anime, if you like anime, which is probably what you're gonna like. If you happen to also like Korean dramas, I have a Korean drama channel, Freshest K Reacts. And I want to get into like not Korean or anime stuff. Hopefully, I do that soon. I don't know what channel I'll put that on, but it'll go on one of the 3. The other channel is just JoeFreshest, and that is like gaming, variety, reacting to YouTube videos and stuff. Um, Maybe check out my live stream, Joe Freshest. I've been playing a lot of Uma Musume. I was playing Expedition 33, playing Peak with Diana, my wife. What else? Follow me on Twitter if you want. You can check out the Patreon if you like longer reactions, and that's it. Yeah.
Yours. Follow us, Anime Savants, everywhere. I guess anime on Twitter as well. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's there. It's there. There's a lot happening on Twitter. But yeah, Anime Savants, Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram. Where can I find you, James?
You can find me on Blue Sky, James Morris King, my whole name. You can also find me on Twitch at Alexander AELEXANDER. But that's pretty much it. Uh, it's a good season. It's a good season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
And
All
I'm
right,
gonna
y'all.
pause. Bye.
Peace.